Welcome back to another episode of Red Tinted Glasses. And on this episode, it is another Getting to Know You episode. And we are getting to know the latest summer signing. It is our seventh summer signing, and it'll be the first Israeli to play for Aberdeen as Or Dadia joins on loan from Hapoel Be'er Sheva. And I'm delighted to welcome to the show Yossi Medina, an Israeli journalist who is going to give us a bit of an insight into Or. So, welcome, Yossi, to the show.
Hi, Glen. It's a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you on, and I'm really hoping that you can give us a bit of exciting background on Or. What was first of all, what was the reaction in Israel to Or moving from Hapoel Be'er Sheva over to the Scottish Premiership and joining the Dons?
Yeah, I will divide it to two groups: the
Mm-hmm.
Hapoel Be'er Sheva fans. Or is a homegrown player, is one of the, I would say, heart of the squad, a player that everyone knows, not only from the pitch, but also outside from the pitch. So it's a bit exciting to see him getting chance to play abroad. For those who are not Hapoel Be'er Sheva fans, it's a surprising transfer because usually when Israeli players are coming to Scotland, they're signing for Celtic, most of them.
Mm-hmm.
And this summer is this second Israeli to sign in Scotland, not for Celtic. So it's a bit surprising move. But yeah, there are some positive reactions for this move.
Oh, that's exciting. And Barry Robson, of course, Aberdeen manager, calling him a versatile defender. Would you agree with that assessment from Barry Robson?
Um, Look, he mainly played as a right defender. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
he tried to play as a center back or a left defender. Um, his best position is the right side.
Mm-hmm.
He makes the best performance, and more than that, he as a right defender in Hapoel Be'er Sheva, he played also sometimes in attacking mode,
Okay.
playing alongside the right wingers, being part of the attacking phases. So he's not just a defender that is specializing with defensive actions, but
Mm-hmm.
also know to make some attacking positions
Opportunities. Yeah.
and opportunities. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's interesting to hear because obviously it's kind of been noted from our side that he could play on either side of the defense. And we've spoken on this show about our left hand side of the defense being slightly weaker. But as always, interesting to hear the perspective that the right hand side is strongest. Um, we tend to play a back three and then have a wing back. Would that be a role that the Or could fit into is playing as a wing back? I guess you've just said he is strong going forward in the attacking stage as well. So maybe suitable playing as a wing back as well in a back four.
Yeah, in much of the times in Hapoel Be'er Sheva, he got used in this kind of formation. So yeah, he really know the role as part of such kind of defensive line. It makes him even to get more chances to go forward and not only to stay behind.
Mm-hmm.
In Hapoel Be'er Sheva, there is something additional that most of the teams that are playing against them are usually playing. I wouldn't say parking the bus, but
Yeah.
in more more defensive formations against the Hapoel. So he got chances even to go forward and to be part of the attack.
Mm-hmm. Um, what would you say the biggest strength of his game is? And do you feel there's any kind of maybe areas that he needs to improve at all when he moves to Scotland?
First of all, he is really aggressive. I would say he is strong player.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the Israeli players, when they are moving abroad, they have some physical gaps
Okay.
between the intensity of Israeli football and European football. So this one positive thing that I would say he got some advantage, and I think he will fit for Scottish football in these terms. Something that he will might need to improve is the pace.
Okay.
Sometimes when Hapoel Be'er Sheva try to go to counter attacks or to play more in to play faster,
Hmm.
sometimes they fail to catch the pace, or
Okay.
sometimes he make to slow down. So yeah, that's something that he will need to a bit improve if Aberdeen wants to play faster.
Yeah, no, that's interesting, and obviously that's kind of a style that Barry Robson has been implementing. But we saw last season as well, and how certain players maybe weren't performing to their full potential under Jim Goodwin, and Barry Robson and Steve Agnew got to bring players up to speed and did so quite quickly. And I'm sure we'll see the same with Or. Now, when I saw a couple of your tweets on social media, I noticed you mentioned an injury that he picked up last season. Can you give us more information on what that injury was?
Yeah, it was something in his hamstring, if I remember right. Something not
Hmm.
was not so severe.
Okay.
In the beginning of the season, he made a really great improvement, which led him also to make his debut for the national team.
Hmm.
Um, it took a few weeks until he got back to trainings. Unfortunately, the right defender that took his place in the lineup was so dominant, so
Okay.
he couldn't take over back his position in the lineup. But he was a really good substitute. Sometimes he got chances to play again in the lineup, and also got chances to play in another defensive positions during the season.
What other defensive positions did he play in throughout the season? Did he move more into a right-sided centre back through the season?
Mali got some chances to play in the left back.
And
Uh,
how did he do it at that side last season?
it took time until he got used to this side. But yeah, when he played more and more in this position, um, he got fit to this position. But in the end, he got back to the right wing where he's more dominant.
Okay, no, that's interesting to hear that at least last season he had experience of playing at the left side. So if that's somewhere that Aberdeen do look to deploy him this season, if at all, then he's not playing on that side for a while. Obviously, we're recording this on Friday night, and maybe when most people are tuning into this episode, we'll be 2 weeks from the start of the Scottish Premiership season. We play Preston in a pre-season friendly. I don't think Orr will be able to be involved given he hasn't received all the necessary clearances. Where are Hapoel in terms of being ready for the Israeli football season? Because maybe people will have a bit of concern around his fitness with not being involved in Aberdeen in pre-season so far.
Yeah, although it was really predicted that he will leave, he was part of the preseason training camp of Hapoel Be'er Sheva, played a few preseason friendlies.
Okay.
So yeah, he made a good preparation for the season because not only no one knew when he will move. Hapoel Be'er Sheva will play next week, the first European match.
Okay.
So it was good to have him fit, even if he will leave soon.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear. Now, you've mentioned the Israeli league maybe, well, certainly when teams came up against Hapoel Be'er Sheva, that they play more defensively. Would you say the Israeli league in general is a more defensive-minded league in comparison to what you've possibly seen of Scottish football?
I think it depends on the opponents. When
Okay.
there are three big teams, Hapoel Be'er Sheva, Maccabi Tel Aviv, and Maccabi Haifa, when you see matches between these three, you see open play, you see more attacks, more goals. In other games, it might be, I would say, not one side matches, but one team is more attacking and the other try to play more in the counter attacks.
Hmm.
But still, also the defensive approach of the bottom teams are leading them to score. They are looking for counter attacks and they are playing really fast in the front lines.
And how do you think then he will cope with the pace of Scottish football then? Do you think he'll be up to that? Because obviously, as well, we'll come on to it in a minute, he's been able to experience European football in the Europa League and the Europa Conference League as well. That will have stood him in good stead moving to Scotland as well, being able to play against different styles on the European stage.
Yeah, I think it might take time because the pace is completely different than he got used in Hapoel Be'er Sheva. Sometimes he might be even more involved in the match because, as I said, when you are playing only attack, the pace is different compared to European matches where you need to play both defense and offense and to run through all the pitch. But yeah, I think he can get into the pace. I would say quickly because he is not only he got used to playing some different paces, he's also a hard-working player.
Yeah, and that's good.
He's ready. He's ready to this challenge, and I think that he will get a chance to improve and to prove to the coach that he is ready to play.
Well, that's exciting to hear as well. And you mentioned as well he's had opportunities to play in more of a forward-minded role and likes to push on. Does he have a good delivery into the box from open play as well as maybe taking free kick deliveries?
No, he's less on set pieces, but he can make some good crosses, make some long passes. He knows to do that. He's done it more than once during the last seasons. So I think he could do it really well for Aberdeen.
No, that's good to hear. And obviously, we've got group stage football to look forward to on the European stage. Whether that will be in the Europa League or Conference League remains to be seen. But Or will not be any stranger to playing in group stages because Hapoel Be'er Sheva played on the group stages last season, and it was a very impressive group stage performance from them, only losing once, and no disrespect in losing to Villarreal, and they progressed out the group as well. I noticed as well that they have a very good defensive record in Europe as well. A few seasons ago, or came up against Scottish opposition when Be'er Sheva won 3-0 against Motherwell. And on the route to the group stages in that qualifiers, they only conceded once. How much will he have learned from that European experience in playing in that group stages last season?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, he opened last season with really impressive progress. One of his best matches before the injury was an away match against Austria Vienna, a 0-0 draw. He made some great saves there. Blocked a few shots from the Austrian side. He knew how to stand really well, how to make a strong defense against much better players. We know the quality of players in other European sides compared to Israeli leading teams. So yeah, he got more familiar with playing against stronger sides. So yeah, his experience from the European competitions during the years could be really important during his period in Scotland.
No, that's good as well. Now, obviously, Scotland and Israel have played a lot against each other in recent years in the international stage. So a lot of Scottish football fans will have been familiar with a few Israeli players, and certainly me as a big fan of the national team as well was really impressed by the Israeli right back Eli Dasa, of course, who captains the side as well. Would you be able to draw any comparisons between Eli Dasa and Or Dadia at all?
I think they're having some different moves. they have even a different experience because Ali Dassa played way more European matches during his years, played abroad for some, both in the Netherlands and currently in Russia. But Or Dadia, in his peak, I would say, even before the injury, he was part of the Israeli squad. He was, I would say, substitute in his in this position. He didn't got too many chances to play, but yeah, he was one of the. I think it's still one of the best Israeli right defenders. So it wasn't a coincidence or a mistake that he got a call up for the national team.
Oh, that's exciting. And do you think moving to Aberdeen and playing obviously in a different country and once again, I know obviously European experience, but being able to put himself out there once again will enhance his squad and squad opportunities on a more regular basis of maybe even starting for Israel? I know we've got the next round of qualifiers coming up in September, but would that be something that he'd be looking at, is maybe trying to get a regular start for Israel with this move?
I think that currently it will be a bit complicated because Israel is after a good two campaigns in the under 20 World Cup and the under 20 Euros. So there are some youngsters that got into the shortlist and make the decision even harder.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that if he will make an impressive run in European competitions, he would be taken into consideration to be part of the national team. I don't know if he will be the first pick for the lineup, but he could be part of the squad once again.
No, well, I'm sure he'll want to be back involved with the national team and get more caps under his belt. Aberdeen have the exclusive option to buy Or Dadia at the end of the season if he impresses. What have you heard in Israel that the fee is alleged to be? Because I think it's been reported over here in the UK it's around maybe £400,000. Have you heard anything along those lines?
Yeah, in Israel the reports are the same, 400,000 pounds.
Yeah, no, well, I think we'll see over the course of the season whether that'll be a good investment. Do you think that is, if that was the fee to be paid at the end of the season, that would be seen as a good investment from Aberdeen?
Yes. It's a chance for Aberdeen to get an experienced defender in relatively low price, I would say. And if he will get fit into the Scottish League and to be a vital part of Aberdeen's season, I think that it will worth it for the long run, not only for one season.
Yeah. Well, I've been really enjoyed listening to your insight tonight, Yossi. So thank you very much for taking your time out your Friday evening to join me. And I know you'll be eagerly tuning in to see how he gets on, but more so the Israel derby, as I saw you say, when we take on St Mirren at the end of August as well. So thank you for taking your time, and I hope everyone that's tuned into this episode, whether it's been on YouTube or on audio, has really enjoyed Yossi's insight into Or Dadia. So thank you again, Yossi.
Thank you, Glenn. Have a good luck.